Yo, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Now, yesterday we had UFC 292, and we went 5 for 1, guys. We went 5 for 1 on the predictions. We predicted pretty much every fight the way it was supposed to go, except for the last fight, which was Aljamain Sterling against Sean O'Malley, where I had Aljamain Sterling winning. Obviously, Sean O'Malley freaking won the fight, but we'll get into that in a little bit. First, to start off with Chris Weidman versus Brad Tavares. I had Brad Tavares winning the fight. 100% had Brad Tavares winning the fight. Chris Weidman had not been in the cage in a little while, and in the fight you could 100% tell, man, that it had been a while for Chris Weidman. It was a little hard to watch him, just get kicked after kicked after kicked on those legs. He had some glimpses, that he had some stuff left in the tank. But obviously, I think it's time for Chris Weidman to decide, whether or not he really wants to go into retirement or not. Because yesterday's showing, it wasn't really convincing, that he could make another title run in the middleweight division, in my opinion. There was a lot of instances where Chris Weidman wanted to go for all these shots, and honestly, man, I think it's time for Chris Weidman to hang up the gloves. I really don't like seeing, fighters that come back from rough injuries like the ones that he had and just get freaking punished the entire freaking way through. That's exactly what happened in this fight. Um, like I said, there were some instances where Chris Weidman had some pretty good exchanges, especially in the second round where he turned it into a fight. That's how he had fought the entire fight. It was just turned into kind of like a brawl type fight. But obviously that's just not the way it turned out. It was pretty hard to watch, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. We got that prediction pretty right. And then we go into the Marlon Vera versus Pedro Munoz. It went the exact way that I thought that it would go, right? The exact way I thought that it would go. Marlon Vera, notorious for being a slow starter. In my opinion, look, this is the way that I saw. I think that Pedro Munoz won round 1, and round 2 was freaking debatable. Round 2 was 100% debatable. I think both fighters, depending on who you ask, they did enough to win that round, in my opinion. But the way that I saw it, I think that Pedro Munoz probably won round 1 and round 2. Even though I said that that Marlon Vera was gonna win the fight, I'm just being honest. I think that Pedro Munoz won round 1 and round 2, and just got freaking left behind, like huge gap in round 3 when Marlon Vera started, just landing jab after jab after jab after jab. But yeah, apparently he's next up to fight Sean O'Malley for the championship fight. But I really don't think that he deserves the title shot. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I mean, do you guys think that Marlon did enough? Do you guys think that he did a good enough job to beat Pedro Munoz? I mean, for him to get a title shot, he beat number 10 as a rank, what, he's number 5, right? I really don't think that he deserves the title shot. I really think that Corey Sandhagen should be challenging for the title. I think actually they're actually probably going to give the fight to Corey Sandhagen before they give it to Marlon Vera. But yeah, I mean, Marlon Vera won the fight. That's exactly how we predicted the fight to go. I was a little worried there, from what I was seeing. I was a little bit worried. I thought that the scorecards were going to be a little closer, watching the entire fight. Even though we did predicted Marlon Vera to win, I think that was a little bit too close. But yeah, let's go on to the next fight. Mario Bautista versus Damon Blackshear. Yeah, man, we predicted Mario Bautista to do this. We predicted that Mario Bautista was gonna, have a base similar to Damon Blackshear, right? They're all jumpy. Both of them are really jumpy. They really don't settle down on their base all too much. and it was probably going to come down to a lot of the grappling, where Mario Bautista was just going to be, you know, a little bit more dominant, and that's exactly what freaking happened. Exactly what freaking happened. Mario Bautista, he edged the win, but a win is a win. We predicted that on this channel. Let's go ahead into the next fight, which was really entertaining. The Neil Magny versus Ian Machado Gary. Another prediction that we got right. Everybody was thinking, bro. Everybody was thinking that Neil Magny was gonna win. I was like, no, bro. Like, no. Ian Gary, you know, he proved in his last fight that he is striking material. Very, very striking. Heavy base. You know, he has a lot of feints in his game. You know, he's able to move left and right. You know, it's something that we really don't see in MMA. I'm gonna just say that here. I'm gonna be the first channel to actually say this, that we really don't see a lot of MMA fighters moving left to right, and in an athletic way. You know, and Ian Machado Gary is actually pretty good at moving, you know, with just pretty basic fundamentals, basic freaking footwork fundamentals. And I freaking mentioned that in the last video, in the predictions video. And we got that right. Ian Machado Gary, he's going to all these freaking gyms. The people may not like him, bro. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like him. There's a lot of people that wanted to see him lose, but you can't take away from the fact that he works at, you know, trying to become a high IQ fighter. And what I saw from him yesterday was being a high IQ striker. You know what I'm saying? Even though he gets hate from all these freaking people, and there was a whole bunch of people that wanted to see him lose, right? At the same time, man, a lot of the stuff is just for show. Like, these fighters, they have to sell the fights. You know, UFC doesn't pay these guys, you know, based on how good they are. They pay them on how much eyes they're willing to get, you know, in these pay-per-view cards. And that's just the way the fighting business is. You know what I'm saying? But I can't take anything away from Ian Machado Gary, the way he plays, like, I guess, his character in the UFC. The dude can fight, and the dude has a lot of IQ, and the dude is able to move in a very athletic way, and to go along that, he has a decent IQ when it comes to striking. I hope that they match him up with somebody in the top 8, top 5, you know, to see where he really is, as a fighter, because I think now he's turned from prospect to a real serious contender for the welterweight division. But we'll see where it goes from here in his career. Obviously, the welterweight right now is a little, you know, it's a little weird, right? Because everybody's saying, oh, you know, who's gonna be the next champion in the welterweight division? The Kamaru Usman, he wants to make another title run, right? And whether or not people think he, you know, thinks that he deserves it, I think that he should. You know, he earned the right, you know, to continue to fight for that belt. Also, we have Colby Covington. You know, it's gonna be crazy to see what Ian Machado Gary is able to do against someone like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, who he called up. You know, that's gonna be a very interesting fight. Obviously, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's older in age, you know, and he just had a fight. They should have just gave Wonderboy Thompson the fight for this fight. You know, they should have just, like, oh, you know, you made weight, you know, let's just give you Machado Gary, because I think that Gary was supposed to fight somebody else, right? And he was supposed to fight Jeff Neal, and I think Jeff Neal kind of backed out of that fight, so they should have just had him fight Stephen Wonderboy Thompson for this pay-per-view card, in my opinion. But it's gonna be very interesting to see what someone like Gary could do against Gilbert Burns, or, you know, Bilal Muhammad, or Colby Covington, you know, even Leon Edwards, which in my opinion, I think Leon Edwards is a little bit more elite when it comes to striking. But I digress, you know what I'm saying? We got that prediction right, Ian Machado Gary. And again, we got another prediction right between Zhang Wei Li and Amanda Lemos, which was a crazy fight. I cannot believe that this fight went on for the length that it went on, man. They should have just ended this fight, man, a little earlier. Amanda Lemos was just getting mauled round after round after round after round. I don't think it was close Besides that one darts choke that Amanda Lemos tried to land against Zhang Wei Li, she did not pose a threat at all, man. They should have just ended the fight and gave Amanda Lemos another, uh, you know, another day to fight again, man. Because this might be a very psychologically heavy loss for Amanda Lemos. She just got freaking obliterated each and every single round, man. And I don't know. There was I think a judge that actually gave a round to Amanda Lemos, which, man, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I don't think that that judge should ever freaking judge around the MMA ever again. Zhang Wei Li did exactly what I thought she was gonna do and just go in there and just beat the crap out of Amanda Lemos. I know we said in the prediction that Amanda Lemos has to hurt Zhang Wei Li early into the fight, and she really didn't do that. She tried to use a lot of her jujitsu, and the thing about jujitsu is you have to be a threat on your back. And while you're on your back, you're losing freaking control points. So you're trying to choke someone out at the same time being in a position where, in terms of MMA judging, you're pretty much losing on the scorecards. And that's, in my opinion, that's probably the biggest problem between people that just have a base in jiu-jitsu, is that, man, if you're not being a threat on your back, you're pretty much probably gonna lose the fight. I think the best fighter we've ever seen, off his back is probably Charles Oliveira, but that's because he's super elite. He's super freaking a huge threat on his back. Doesn't matter where, even if he has top control or if he's at the bottom, he's always gonna be a threat. And Amanda Lemos, man, she wasn't taking any positions, to just try to get in positions to be a threat in the fight, and Zhang Wei Li was just mauling her round after round after round. Like, it was crazy to see the amount of strikes that Zhang Wei Li was landing on Amanda Lemos, round after round after round after round, and they didn't stop the fight. That was crazy to see. But we got that prediction right, and now let's go into the main event. Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley. Look, guys, I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? I was wrong. And it's cool, whatever. Sean O'Malley won the fight. I expected Aljamain Sterling to win because, in my opinion, I think Aljamain Sterling is a smarter MMA fighter, right? And I did say, if this fight turns out to be like a kickboxing and Muay Thai fight, Sean O'Malley wins. And he's going to win on a counterpunch, and I predicted that in the freaking breakdown, and that's exactly what happened. Sean O'Malley freaking counterpunch Aljamain Sterling's overcommitment on the cross, right? And Sean O'Malley just stayed right outside of range and landed a clean freaking counterpunch on Aljamain Sterling, and Aljamain Sterling just hits the floor, right? And a lot of people are saying that it was an early stoppage, and this is something that I want to say in this video. How is it that we saw Zhang Wei Li just freaking maul Amanda Lemos for 5 freaking rounds, right, in a championship fight, but they don't do the same for Aljamain Sterling? Like, that's just a little weird. Like, Aljamain Sterling probably could have gone. He should have gone. He should have freaking gone longer into the fight. The fight should have definitely kept on going. I think it was an early stoppage, especially for a championship freaking fight. It was an early stoppage. They should have kept on going for what was at stake. Aljamain Sterling 100% should have kept on going to the fight. I don't know who judged. I don't know who was referee. I think it was Mark Goddard. But yeah, it was a early stoppage. In my opinion, I think it was an early stoppage. But, Aljamain Sterling made a dumb mistake. He made a stupid mistake. I did not expect Aljamain Sterling to try to fight like if he was trying to prove a point, that he was a striker. Like, bro, that's not your base. Aljamain Sterling, that's not your base. Why would you try to, go toe-to-toe, bang-to-bang with someone in my opinion, has the way stronger striking base. You know, Aljamain Sterling should have turned the fight into a boring fight, right? He had, you know, in the first round, Aljamain Sterling won the first round towards the end, right? Because he was exchanging a lot of leg kicks, and he was opening up Sean O'Malley's base, right? He was squaring him up, you know, with those leg kicks. And I thought that's what he was going to continue to do from round 1 to round 5. But he went in there, you know, in round 2, trying to prove a point for some reason. You know, everybody's saying that, oh, he can't strike. And that's what I saw, you know, from my point of view, is Aljamain Sterling. He just did a dumb mistake. He overcommitted. He freaking overreached on the counterpuncher, on the taller, lankier counterpuncher, and Sean O'Malley was able to just capitalize on such a freaking, in my opinion, rookie mistake, bro. Like, rookie mistake. Like, against a longer puncher with a lower guard, you know, wider stance, that's able to just pull back. And that just goes to show that Sean O'Malley has really good drilling as well, right? I'm not gonna take anything away from Sean O'Malley, right? He has good striking base, right? He has a good drills, obviously. You know, you can just see that it was just like a trigger, right? As soon as he saw Aljamain Sterling's cross, Sean O'Malley knew to pull back. Very good technique. Freaking back foot lead first, lean back, and then go for the cross. But yeah, Aljamain Sterling, rookie mistake, dumb mistake. Should have turned the fight into a boring fight and grinded out the win from round to round, and maybe look to strike. Right, maybe try to prove a point from rounds 4 to 5. But round 2 to 3, man, he should have just tried, you know, to turn it into a boring fight. Kind of disappointed, you know, because I expected a little bit more from Aljamain Sterling, because he has proved to be a smart, you know, fighter, a smart striker, right? I just think that he was doing a little bit too much with the antics, right? I feel like he was doing a little bit too much trying to be a crowd pleaser. And that just took him off his base. That just took him off of his mental base, right? And he just made a dumb mistake that costed him the freaking championship fight. And then again, you know, the fight was ended a little early, but it's here or there, you know. In my opinion, the mistake is probably the biggest takeaway from this fight. Not even that it was a freaking early stoppage, even though it was, man. It was an early stoppage, but Aljamain Sterling just made a dumb mistake. And Sean O'Malley, with his crisp freaking drilling, you know, that he does as a counterpuncher, it was like a trigger. It was a trigger. As soon as that freaking cross, he saw that cross coming, step back, counter, freaking textbook counterpunching, bro. That's just what it is. And like I said in the video before, if Sean O'Malley wins, it's probably gonna be off a counterpunch, and it's gonna be a knockout. And I did say that in the freaking breakdown video that I had against Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley, 100%. That the only way Sean O'Malley wins this fight is off a counterpunch, and it's probably gonna be a knockout. And that's exactly what freaking happened. Aljamain Sterling, dumb mistake, early stoppage, whatever you guys want to call it. Fuck it, you know what I'm saying? I was wrong. 100%, I was wrong, and you know, but that's crazy. I don't know what's next for Sean O'Malley. He says that he wants to fight Shido in December, which, in my opinion, I don't think that fight takes place. I think they're gonna give the fight to probably Corey Sandhagen, because Corey Sandhagen just won a couple weeks ago. And Corey Sandhagen's looking pretty good. You know, he's looking pretty good. And if Sean O'Malley could beat someone like Corey Sandhagen, that's a lot, man. That speaks volumes about Sean O'Malley's career. In my opinion, I don't think that fight turns into a striking fight. That's a nightmare fight, in my opinion, for Sean O'Malley. One, because I think that Corey Sandhagen is better at striking. Not even just from a counterpunching perspective, because Sean O'Malley he's a guy that can press a fight, but I think that he does a better job at being a counterpuncher. But we'll get more into that fight as that fight gets announced. I really don't know what's next for Sean O'Malley's career. Like I said, they want to give it to Shido, but I don't think they give it to Shido. They're probably most likely going to give it to Corey Sandhagen because, you know, he's earned the right to fight for the title next. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment sections below. We went 5 for 1 on this prediction. Brad Tavares win, got that right. Marlon Vera win, got that right. Mario Batista win, got that right. Machado win, right. Zhang Wei Li win, right. We had Aljamain Sterling winning, but you know, dumb mistakes can cost you the fight against someone who is a good counterpunch. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I'm Reef, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.